Hello honeybees, welcome back to Getting to Know NightBot Part 6, a series in which I try to help you get along with NightBot just a little bit better. In this video, we will be putting all the lessons we've learned so far together. The best way to do that, in my opinion, is for me to demonstrate some of the commands I have and will be using in my live streams when I go live in the future. This is the best way to show when a command requires a target and what happens if you don't give it a target as well. Exactly how to format them in the chat to make them work consistently, and what happens if you forget to add a target at all. And for the very first time, this video will be featuring NightBot. He's not going to talk or anything, that would have cost extra, but he will have clever pictures that come up on the screen, which I will translate and elaborate on for you. Please note that this is a demonstration, and as such, the names of commands tested in this video may change, and how they work may also change between now and future live streams. If and when you test NightBot for yourself, it may take several streams before you are completely satisfied with your outcome. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't get frustrated. Breathe, watch the video, pause after each step, double check each message in the text box to make sure it is correct. A note about testing NightBot. NightBot has to be able to find your live stream in order to join it as a moderator. That means it must be public. It cannot be private or unlisted. Depending on your experience with live streaming, this may be intimidating for you. You may wish to start an alternate channel just for testing things out. If you have subscribers at all, they will be notified, and many of them will pop in, even if you title your stream something like "Don't Come In" or "Privating, Deleting Later." Just be prepared to talk to people and test NightBot at the same time. Even if you do have your live stream set to public, it can take upwards of 6 minutes for NightBot to find your channel and join your stream. So just be patient. I recommend adding just a few commands at once, going live to test them, then making a list of all the custom commands you want and have the knowledge to make correctly, and adding them in one sitting. You can test them again if you like at that point, but assuming you have formatted them correctly and not made any typos in important variables, they should all work. Then learn a new skill and repeat the process. When you're comfortable with the way those work, you can make more of those commands. NightBot is particularly versatile in that you can learn and build onto what your skill base already has, or you can stop wherever you feel is comfortable for you. Let's get started. Okay, NightBot, let's pretend I'm a chatter and I notice someone new is in the chat. I can be helpful and type !newbie so they know the rules and some commands, how the commands work in my chat, and how you work. Here we see that your automated response has popped up with "Welcome in, honeybee. Thanks for joining us for a chat in the Yarn Hollow. Be kind and considerate to everyone in the chat. To learn more about me, commands, and the rules, type !bot. Don't be shy." Okay, NightBot, what happens when you type !bot? I'm curious now. So in the chat, we will type !BOT, and in a few short seconds, NightBot should return with a response that will inform the chatter that NightBot is a chatbot and invite them to use certain commands. One such command will be !more, so that people can learn more about NightBot and his role in the chat, and specifically what kind of commands and functions are available to them. Because the text in the message box is limited, you may decide to prioritize what is available in each command to look at. For example, I have an exclamation point more, and I've also opted to create an exclamation point even more, in which I have prioritized commands that I think will be most relevant to my chatters and the rules. Let's look at exclamation point even more. We'll type exclamation point even more into the chat and wait for NightBot's response. As you can see, exclamation point even more gives you a list of even more commands you can use in the chat. Okay, NightBot, you're right. We should probably go back to that first command and address trash and what it means. The command for trash is TRAASH ? And as you can see, that stands for transphobia, racism, ableism, ageism, sexism, and homophobia, all of which are bannable offenses on my live streams. Now let's have a little fun. Show them what happens when you type in exclamation point egg. So we will type exclamation point EGG into the chat, and NightBot will return with a cute message about someone finding a literal Easter egg. Let's mess around with some targeted commands. These commands require a second word or target to work. So why don't we give NightBot a cookie by typing exclamation point cookie and then space at NightBot. Eventually it will return with a message saying that my username has given NightBot a cookie. Now let's give NightBot an ice cream. And just like with the cookie, NightBot will return with my username buys NightBot a delicious frozen / ice cream treat. Now we will send the command for ice cream into the chat without a target at all, just for demonstration's sake. This time NightBot will return with my username buys my username a delicious frozen / ice cream treat. When you have no target, it will repeat the username of the person who enters the command. Now let's give NightBot some popcorn by typing exclamation point popcorn at NightBot. And as you can see, that has returned with my username passes NightBot a bucket of buttery popcorn. Now let's show them goodbot and badbot. This is just a fun way for users to give me input about how NightBot is working. So if they type exclamation point badbot, it will apologize for any errors or misbehavior and promise that I will look at its programming for a later stream. When a user types exclamation point goodbot, NightBot takes it as a compliment and thanks the user who sent it into the chat. I can look at the chat logs later on NightBot TV to see how often goodbot and badbot were used and in what context, and see if any changes need to be made. Exclamation point ways to share is the way I decided to address the practice of allowing people to drop links in chat. I wanted people to have a variety of ways to do it without having to spam or making my mods responsible for doing it. With that in mind, let's test out exclamation point drop and see how it works in the chat. Unfortunately, I did lose some of my live footage, and so you will not be able to see me typing these commands, but you will see that they do come up as they are supposed to when entered into the chat. They function properly, their links display correctly, and they come up in a relatively timely fashion. Let's try a command that I have set to an alias. My official command for Reggie is !jhook, but I've also set !Reggie. Let's see if it runs as if I have typed !jhook. And there it is, an advertisement for Yarniversity. Here are some examples of more aliases and command names I might give based on my structure. Now let's say I want to create a command that links back to the latest Bag O' Day or Secret Yarnery pattern I've used. For that, I have created commands !BOD and !TSY that will contain a little blurb about the last pattern I've used and a link to it. And I'll type in !TSY and a little blurb, and link should come up for the last pattern I used from Krista at the Secret Yarnery. Next, I decided that I should create a command recognizing my replay crew and informing them that replays will be available after the initial stream. So we're going to type !replay into the chat, and NightBot will share back with us that a replay of this stream will be available shortly after its initial broadcast, and to thank people for watching it. Okay, NightBot, what else can you do? No way. Seriously? Prove it. Just having a bit of fun with myself, of course. I'm the one who wrote the commands, so of course I know NightBot can tweet. I've prepared 3 tweet commands to show you. First, we'll try !tweet and show that it returns in the chat. Now we'll try !tweet2 and show that that one also returns in the chat. And next we will type !tweet3. And once it returns to the chat, I will actually click the link and prove that all of these links to Twitter, open Twitter, and create a pre-written tweet which the user can send or alter to their tastes and send immediately. NightBot will return with a link to invite people to come hang out, and we will click it. Twitter will load, and as you can see, a pre-written tweet has loaded that I can send immediately. And I have. There I am in the stream in the link. Well done. You and NightBot have come a long way together, and I'm very proud of both of you. If you have made it this far, give yourself an enormous pat on the back, because you have learned a lot and you have made things work for you. And that is the most important part. I hope if these videos have been helpful to you, that you will join me for part 7, which will be 25 custom commands essential to NightBot users in our community. Because there's only so far you can go with NightBot following videos that are designed for Twitch and people who do game live streaming. With all that said, thank you so much for joining me, Honeybee. I appreciate you, and every single time you view one of my videos, and I love you all so very much. Remember, be kind to yourself, be sweet to others, and remember, have a wonderful day, Honeybee.